right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thank God it's Friday. Good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. All right, yes, it's your able host, Oluwashigo Helen Ayeyeniko, your beautiful host with beautiful long names. Hey, OJ28, I can see you. Hola, hola, hola. What's up? Good evening. Good evening once again. Yes, you're welcome to the show. And we're still on our relationship matters. Yes. And today we'll be talking about finance in marriage. So let me welcome to the studio. I have Moyosore Omitogun. Yes, that's our speaker for today. Yes, I have OJ28. Hola, man. What's up? How you doing? All right, I'm seeing another person here. Your name is not well registered, but I've gotten the alphabet of the EHRFIQV. You're welcome. Modupe, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in, Mama. Just give me 2 more minutes and we kickstart. Yes. And it's about time to kickstart. Good evening once again, everybody. Yes, thanks for joining in. Today on our relationship matters, we'll be talking about finance in marriage. We all know what money is. We all know what money can do. And if you agree with me, finance is one of the major source of divorce, major source of problems in marriages. Even if you look at marriages that have issues like domestic violence, infidelity, at times when we dig deep down to the source, somehow finance is most times related. Yes. So today we want to talk about finance in marriage. So what are your take? What do you have to tell us? Pen it down, jot it down. I have a speaker here that will kickstart first, and afterwards we all call in to also drop our opinions and also join the discussion. All right, with me today, let me introduce my speaker. All right, so on the show tonight, I want to introduce Mr. Moyosore Omitogun. He's a communication manager, a copywriter with backgrounds in economics and business administration. He is a father and a man with one beautiful wife. All right, Moyosore, you're welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, people, let me also tell you, he's my boss. Yeah.
I'm not your boss.
He's my boss, so he's been my boss for a very long time now. Yes, so we are still in touch. Good to have you on board, sir. All right, yes. So
Thank you very much.
let's kick into the discussion for today. Let's talk about finance. Money is important, Abino. She.
very, 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 very
Money is
important.
very
I hope you can hear me
important.
very well.
Yes, 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 I can hear you well. So money
Absolutely,
is
very
very
important.
important now, here. And as much as love is a beautiful thing, I think love is more. You know that Davido song that says, "Well, love is sweet, though, but when money enter, love is sweeter." So
Yes, yes, so
let's
that's true.
yeah. So let's talk about finance in marriage. What are your takes when we talk about finance? Are we talking about a collective running of money in the family, or we should just have we can it can be my thing, your thing, kind of a running, and yet still things will still work out fine. So even if you want to do investments, I can do my thing my own way. You don't need to know how much I'm earning. You don't need to know what comes in. The point is we are getting it fixed. Or does it necessarily need to be a collective thing? You have the floor, please.
All right, thank you very much, Ellen. Well, I would share from personal experience, answer my questions from personal experiences and what has actually worked for me
Okay.
and my wife. What works for me might not work for every other person, because it also has to do with a lot of things around trust, around income, around maybe which of the spouses is working and all that. So so it will vary, as I said earlier, what might work for me and not work for someone else. But back to your introduction, money is a very important factor in marriage. And like we normally say, food waste sweet, now money killer.
Now, so.
It's same as marriage. Uh, um, a lot of people enter marriage and without having laid an assured source of income. I
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't encourage that. I wouldn't encourage that, except you are convinced that maybe by the time you enter into marriage, things would actually get better. Because I mean, most of us are religious, and there's that blessing that comes with marriage. Absolutely, there's a blessing that comes with marriage. But
Okay.
then, finance and income, even no matter how small, is very, very important, because really, before even while still dating, even finance is also very important, because even do a wedding, to enter, I mean, to even start wedding and all that,
Mm-hmm.
it involves financing, because even if your parents will put it, if your organization will put it, you two also have a role to play
Yeah.
as either a wife or an husband. So
Mm-hmm.
finance, as I said earlier, is very, very important. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So if we are talking about the general, you've not answered the other question. That if you're talking about the running
Okay.
of the home, so should it be? Does it necessarily have to be a collective thing, or we should do it your own way, my own way?
Okay. Well, I would answer based on my experience. So, myself and my wife, uh, I remember before we got married,
Okay.
we got counsel from various people about how to run finances in the marriage and all that, because also this also has to do with our background. So in my parents, I've always seen them run their finances together, but running finances together didn't mean that they had the same accounts that they run.
Okay.
I also saw families whereby both husband and wife have just one account that they run together.
Mm.
So me and my wife said, okay, well, in marriage, what we would want have to ensure is that money doesn't come in between the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So even
Yeah.
though, yeah, before we got married, we all had individual accounts, but the coming to marriage also, we still had our individual accounts, but then all the money in both accounts is for the both of us. So it's not like, oh, the money in my own account is for me, my wife's own is for her. The money in my account is for me and my wife. The money in my wife's account is for both of us also. I see a lot of time men have this kind of ego thing that, oh, don't worry, so long as I'm providing and I have the income, the money I earn is for all of us to share and all that. But your own money, don't worry, just have it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But my belief is that yes, the man most times is the provider, and I said most times,
Okay.
depending on cases, whereas the wife is there to support. Now that support is also very important, because men, we try to feel like we are very strong
Mm.
and we can do everything, but we still need our wife support. Sometimes is maybe you want to pay school fees of the child and you have like maybe 50,000 naira, I need like 10,000 naira extra. Your wife should be able to kick in and say, okay, let me support you with this. So, I said earlier, what works for me and my wife is having a common purse. So, though different accounts, but then we have a common purse that we know this money. So by the time we are planning with both what is in my account and what is in her account likewise. And that way, because there's trust, capital is our trust.
Mm.
That trust is very important. She knows,
Trust. So
so
let
she
me
knows
let me
that
put it
okay,
in capital letters.
yeah, trust. Because so she knows that even though some money is in my account,
Hmm.
it's not just for me. I'm accountable to her to ensure that I don't just use that money to do things that we didn't plan for. And if
Mm.
there's anything that comes up that we didn't plan for, I would have to tell her that, oh, something happened. Though. I have to send out money to someone or have to incur these expenses. I won't say, oh, because I'm making money, I'm making maybe the biggest part of the income. I will then say, no, it doesn't concern her. Most things that I do financially, I tell her not like I'm reporting to her, but basically we basically account for our income and also our expenditure because this way she doesn't also make unnecessary demands on me because she knows what is coming into the purse. So if I earn, let me say, 100,000 naira, for example,
Okay.
so she can't say, oh, I need to go, I need to maybe go on holiday that we didn't plan for, or I need to spend this. So at least that way, I know that I have peace of mind. She knows my income. I also know what's coming in for her. Then we don't have disputes. Oh, I want money. Sorry, I don't know if people can speak Yoruba here.
Not
I want it.
everybody do.
Okay, what I mean is like, so people don't say, "Oh, I'm a miser," or the money he makes, he doesn't want to share it with his wife. So long there's trust and both of them share information. When I say share information, both of you are very open to each other. If I'm making an expenses today, my wife, even if she's not with me at the moment, I would let her know that I have to make an expenses that probably we didn't plan for. They would then know, okay, how do we balance that expenses? So long she knows that whatever expenses I incur, I would let her know. She also does that vice versa. So that way we wouldn't have issues with our finances generally. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so let me quickly ask this before we allow one or two people to call in. So, how do you manage your individual differences? Let's say, for instance, I don't know if you are the spender type or you are the saver, and maybe she's the opposite. So, how do both of you try to balance that?
Uh, it's actually a big deal because even though people fall in love and all that, but most times there's always still a couple few differences between people. As you said, one person might be the saver, and that person might be the legacy spender. So for me, I'm not much of a spender, but I'm someone that I I give. So if I'm very I have empathy easily when people are in dilemma. Oh, something happened to your mother. Oh, school fees. Oh, this one. So long I can afford it, I try to support people financially. Sometimes when I have the opportunity to, but and sometimes I also do it to a fault because every month me and my wife we have like a budget of this is the items that we are spending on, and as the month goes on, we do what they call audits. That is like every week or depending on the expenses, we know okay, this is what we have spent on. This is what is the outstanding. I have an Excel sheet for that
Wow.
actually. So yeah, I have an Excel sheet that completes what I've spent, what remains, and all
Okay.
that. So and all that. I'll still come back there. But in terms of disagreement, sometimes I might want to give someone something, and my wife will be like, no, that can wait, or how am I sure that the person is actually needs that support and it's not just wants to collect it. So sometimes
Mm.
we also have to compromise. We also have to compromise because I might feel in doubt that this person actually needs the support. Let me support her. So I will try to convince her. Sometimes the man will be like, okay, well, okay, I've had you, but you know that at the end of the day, it's not done. You still have to discuss it back and forth. And because, as I said earlier, compromise is very important. Sometimes she would agree and say, okay, go ahead. Whereas sometimes you're like, no, I don't think this is what we should do. And I might also then rethink it that, okay, probably wait till the following month or another time when it's convenient for us. Well, as I said, sometimes I do it to a fault that I might not even look at the Excel sheet. I just go, oh, this person needs this thing. Let me support them. So, but that conversation is very important because I wouldn't just say, oh, because maybe I bring in maybe 70% of the income, I would then decide that this money has to be spent this way. No, we would have to have like conversations around this before expenses go out. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, yes, you answered. But sorry, I said that should be the last word, but let me quickly ask this. You talked about an Excel sheet. So I'm
I have
interested.
an Excel
You talked about the way
sheet.
you do audits. Okay, so should I say
Yes.
you find it easy maybe because of your background, or how is it? So let's just like let's try to flip the card now. Let's try to flip it a little.
Okay.
And you're not the audit type, you're not the one that like get
Okay.
into details. Sure, you understand.
Okay.
So how can we
Okay.
really manage that? Okay, so you want to advise someone like me, I don't believe in papers and Excel, and oh, that will be wasting my time.
Uh, okay, well, I actually started this exhausting before I got married. So, okay, that
Oh,
was the
now I
time.
understand. As an economist, right?
Well, well, it was just a way for me to plan. So when okay, I mean, right from time
Okay.
since I started I created like budgets of things that I would have to spend that month. My tithes, well, my like expenses, food, and all that. I have to plan that because at the end of the day, the income isn't as much as we are as our expenses. Even no matter how much you earn, your expenses would most likely outrun your income. I hope I'm not
Yeah.
using too much terminology.
No, I think we understand that. The expenses might be more than what you're getting in. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to prioritize and look at what are the things that are important. So,
Okay.
but specifically, when me and my wife were to marry,
Okay.
we planned 1 year ahead. So I said, okay, I didn't do the quote official proposal, but because I knew we were going to get married, so I didn't have to go and kneel down and do all those things.
So
So yeah,
you
will
didn't
you marry?
bother to you didn't bother to buy the beach side or the old restaurant.
No, no, no.
So
No, I
we are
didn't
still
because
going back to
yeah.
the kind of person you are now. So we are still boiling down to your personality. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that is basically about me and my wife because we were already dating for a long and coaching for a long time, also like almost about 6 or 7 years before we got married.
Wow.
So after, except we were joking, that's when I would then say, "Oh, will you marry me?" Because it got to a point where we decided that okay, yes, we needed to get married, and at that point, like we were ready before, but then we were not ready financially. So at
Okay.
the point finance started getting better, thought, okay, this is the time we need to start doing it. So we had like 1 year to plan for marriage, and then we knew we were going to two things. We were going to plan marriage, and we're going to plan wedding, and these two things are very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an Excel sheet to plan marriage. That is the what would me and my wife need in marriage.
Mm.
Are we getting a new house? Are we getting new items? All that. That I mean because the income is restricted is I do a 9 to 5 job, so my income it can be predicted. If
Okay.
I'm earning 100,000 naira, it will also be 100,000 naira next month. So I have to now know, okay, this is the marriage I want to plan. This is also the wedding I want to have. Let me try and manage the income I have within this thing. So when my wife look at it, okay, what are the things that are important for us going into marriage? What are the things that are important for us also for our wedding? So the things that are not too important, bacteria have to remove that. But the things that we need that are important, we now have to now plan within the income. Is that so this budget started from that from there. Maybe okay, so like maybe I needed to get a suit.
Okay.
I'll like say, oh, okay, maybe I'm buying a suit of 20,000 instead of buying a suit of 50,000, depending on income. So, but no matter how much or how low your income, you can be able to plan and budget. Now, in most cases,
Okay.
your expenses will not follow exactly. how your budget is.
Good.
But the budget is able to guide you. Is able to guide you that okay, you are going beyond budget. Okay, now you have already calculated 100,000 naira. Except a miracle happens, you might not have more than 100,000 naira. So if you are spending 10,000 naira more than you plan somewhere, it means that you have to spend less in another place. So that's the importance of the Excel sheet. Like Excel sheet, like if you put 20,000 naira as budget for food. Now maybe every week, maybe my wife goes to the market to buy something. As she come back from the market, maybe the following day we'll say, okay, how much did you spend? Spend 2,000, 3,000 naira. We'll have it, so it will adjust. If we spend 3,000, that means it remains 70,000. Now this budget is open to the both of us, so we will both know when we don't have money for food again. So it's not like, oh, she's not telling me that as you can see we don't have money for food. Like both of us know. So as we are spending, we both know that these are expenses that things are going for. And if there is any irrelevant expenses, we can then cut it. Because most times I say in marriage that the husband and wife are probably not on the same page. The husband probably feels the wife has one maybe like 200,000 naira somewhere that is not disclosing. So she is then saying, "Oh, today I want shawarma. Tomorrow I want pizza. Next tomorrow I want this." I mean, these things are also part of the spice of marriage. But then when you know that the income at home can cater for this kind of things, so you won't make undue or unnecessary demands that you know that the income of the house cannot fit into. But then you will know by the Excel that, oh, okay, we didn't, maybe for transport we will say we're going to spend 5,000 a day, but okay, I'm working from home. I mean this month, but this I'm working from home, so I probably won't spend up to that this month. Then I can look, okay, I can actually take 5,000 from transport that I didn't spend to maybe going on a date or treat with my wife or buying things for her. So those kind of things. Now she knows that okay, an expense that we did spend that can actually push that. And sometimes because as men, a lot of times we sometimes ignore the feelings of our wife. You feel, oh, she will always understand, so you probably don't prioritize them. So also sometimes in your budget also had the fact that okay, you want to also take her out, so she knows that oh, this month oh, there's the budget 10,000 naira to take her to depending on your level, either it's KFC, Mama Pools, or wherever. At least that feeling is there that oh, you have plans for her within the finances. Likewise, I hope I've not gone out of scripture.
At all, at all, at all. Thank you very much. So I'll get back to you. All right, yes. So those were beautiful, beautiful points there, and I've been able to to pen down some things here. So I think honesty and communication, trust, yes, worked for
Yeah.
Mr. Mayosore a lot. All right, so people, please, the floor is open. Please call in and let's have your own view. Let's hear your view about it. What exactly is finance in marriage to you? Do we really need to carry each other along? Do we really need to have one purse? So Mayosore shared his own how it worked for him. He said it's not as if they have one account, but like one purse, and everybody knows what comes in and what goes out of this same purse. So it's not as if one person is earning so amount and the other person is earning this, or you don't even have an idea of what each other are earning. So, but what do you think about it? Do we really need to know? Do we really need to make it collective kind of budget running, or we can just decide to do? What about sharing the bills? Yeah, so I think sharing the bills to work for some people. So maybe when we share the bills, we can decide to just your own is just to ensure that the school fees are being paid, or the rent are being paid, or there's food in the house, so you don't need to know how much I'm earning. So yes, please, you can call in or you can drop your comments in the comment sections, please. Let's hear your view. What do you have to say about this? Finance in marriage. All right, Madam Olubukola, I've accepted your call. I don't know what's happening. Please, you can try it again. Please call in again. Call in again, please. Call in, call in. Thank you so much. All right, yes. Except we want to deceive ourselves. Finance is one major part in marriage. Is one major. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
All right.
Please, that our guest,
Yes.
is he an accountant?
As in,
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Are you an economist?
Well, by training, I'm an economics, but I never got to practice.
Because the way you sounded, then you sounded like an accountant, like an economist, somebody that knows the ledger, the balance.
as in, he said he does audit, so that got me.
You see, you're an auditor. That's what we are talking about. Because we were saying it there and it's just smooth. I was really enjoying you. And I'm like, if this will work for everybody, we don't have problems now. We'll not be having this kind of show.
Thank you very much. Well,
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
thank you. I have a couple of accountants around me. My brother is an accountant. My uncle is also an accountant. So I think I have a lot of accountants around me. But basically, life has taught me this because I mean you're in Nigeria and your income cannot meet up with your expenses. So you have to look at how you can then prioritize your needs to what
Okay.
budget basically. But thank you very much for the feedback.
Okay, but that was really nice. I mean, so accurate. But then, trust me, it doesn't work for everybody like that.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I mean, I really wish when you were talking, I was like, wow. I was like, really? Yeah.
Well, we'll fight. So it's not like it is very smooth. So sometimes me and my wife have argue back and forth. We do this thing. But then,
Yeah.
so long she knows that I'm not doing something to hurt her, or she also is not making decisions to hurt me. Then I know that okay, it's for the good, not for
Yeah.
anything bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the understanding comes in. That's awesome. All right, so one or two things that I just need to add.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of, issues when it comes to money. And I would just like to conclude that it's better that we all understand ourselves as partners, and then we can strike a balance on what works for us. So I have a friend in our early stage of marriage. She used to have issues with her husband back to back. They fight a lot, and so she didn't know what was really the cause, maybe early marriage, 5 years into marriage and you just keep fighting back to back. In fact, there was a time she said to me, she said, if her mom was still, alive, she might have probably left her husband. But because she had nowhere to go, so she just sat down. So long and short of it, later she got to understand what the problem was. Now, what was the problem? She was working and she was always ready to assist the husband. So there's nothing, she's always wanting to front, to say, okay, we want to buy this. Okay, my dear, I saw that there was no food again. I bought this. I saw that this, she was fronting the bills. So somehow the husband felt, she was, because she's working and she's earning a good salary.
Sorry, ma'am. Please, can you speak up a bit louder? Someone just dropped.
Can you hear me now?
Section. Okay, yes, please. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so she was always fronting when it comes to bills, when it comes to buying things. So unknown to her, the man didn't like it. He felt because she was working and earning good pay, she was, feeling and giving that attitude of, I can do it. And that was why they were having issues. So she said to me, the day she noticed that was the problem, she stopped it. And that was it. Boom. So she said that her husband that she cannot tell to help her, my dear, can you please help us pump water? And you're like, come and carry me now. You'd like to send me on errand as if I'm your errand boy. Then when she dropped handling bills, she said she will even come back from work sometimes and say, my dear, they say about me for a boy. And you will say, oh yeah, sorry, oh yeah, come, let's wash it together. I wash and you rinse. She said that is how fantastic her husband is now. all because she didn't let him have a say. Do you get what I'm saying? So fine, they didn't know, they didn't have a discussion. Just like our guest speaker said, they had a discussion. A lot of people don't have the discussion. If we take time to have the discussion, we know what works for us. But a lot of people, you see, this issue is very rare when you see people in a relationship that sit down to say, let's talk about finance. They can't. Sincerely speaking, ask counselors, marriage counselors. They will tell you, people don't get to sit themselves down to say, let's talk about finance. Are we doing 50-50? Are we doing 70-30? Are we sharing the bills? Do you like to take up the bills and I just handle the children or handle food and you do school fees and something? A lot of people don't get to discuss it. And that's where the problem comes in. So when we get time to discuss this as partners, I think it's going to be a lot better for all of us. So personally, I don't see any problem with sharing bills. As long as both of you are working, you share the bills, that's not a big deal. If you want to say, okay, you do this, I do that, you do this, I do that. I mean, we're helpmates. That shouldn't be a problem to anybody. But at the same time, I go back to my point of we need to discuss it. So people need to be encouraged to talk about finance in relationships and talking about is not just, okay, what do you want? And you want this, okay, do it. No, do it. Real talking about it, just like the guest speaker said, real talking, agreeing that, okay, this is what we do. Should we have a common purse? Okay, our common purse, you put... Because of what you earn, you put 70%, I put 30%. Because of what you earn, you put 50, I put 50. If we get to do that, it will get a lot better. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Before you go, so let me quickly drop this now. How can we marry ego and personality when it comes to finance? Now, I think the guest speaker also said something about how men, because they feel they are men, they tend to chase so many things. Now, personality that I want to talk about here is about, let's say, the husband is the spender and the wife is the saver. So, and the ego normal of a man that feels, okay, I make the money, at least, even if he's not the only one, but let's say he makes more money than the wife. So, talking about this finance thing, how can we balance the ego and their personality together? So do you think in that scenario, who would run the budget, or would there really be a common pros in such situation?
You know what? Let's be frank with ourselves. Let's be realistic. Okay. If the man makes the money, you can hardly tell him how to spend it. Except you want problems. You can hardly tell him how to spend it. So as a woman, you are the one that will now be diplomatic and ask for God's wisdom on how to go about it, on how to help him save. It might take time, but you have to stoop to conquer. Because the truth is, you can't tell him how to spend his money. A man will always be a man. You can't tell him how to spend his money. That's the truth. So you have to just find a way to help him curb it, find a way to help him save, find a way to just be that woman that he can fall back on. And then also constantly talking to him about it. We have to do this. Look, it's beneficial for us to do this. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do? You can't come chasing. You can't come, trying to stop him and say, why must you buy this? Must you do this? Must you do that? Don't you think we have to buy a house? Don't you think it's good for us to do this? No, it will not work, because on that ground, his ego is at stake. You have to come as meek as you can, as subtle as you can, to help him conquer it. And you have to help him. That is where you now come as that virtuous woman to help. You can't tell him how to spend his money. That's the truth.
Do you mind if I comment there?
Okay, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, yes, every man has an ego, and that ego is being fed by something. Be that it could be their job,
Exactly.
it could be the society that makes you feel that you are a man and you are the lord of the whole world. But at the end of it, I think when entering into marriage, you should be marrying your friend and not your boss. So so when you have a friend, conversation must happen. Even someone that is not your wife or your husband. As friends, you can't just tell me, oh, we are going to ShopRite today and we are going. There must be a conversation. Oh, do you want to go to ShopRite? No, I'd rather go to Spa. Why Spa? Spa is closer to my side. Oh, okay, then we look at, oh, that's true. So there's a conversation that will happen. So now going into marriage, men have to know that they are the, in quotes, or at least, I don't want to generalize, some men are like the provider in their home. But then that doesn't mean that you should not be open to having conversations. That's why the period of courtship is very, very important. Before you enter into marriage, you will know this man. Can I talk to him? Now, your plan is not to tell him what to do. I mean, like instruct him, because you are not his mother, you are not his father.
Okay.
And he probably hated that for a very long time, that when he has listened to his parents. But now he can make up his mind. But then you both are into marriage. You both then have a conversation that, oh, what do I think? Okay, what do you think? I think we need to get a car. Okay, is it the right time? Why do we need it? What if we do we maybe build a house, or plan to get a land or something? We both then discuss it. We then weigh options. Sometimes now this conversation might not take a week or two. It could take months where you both are then discussing about it. That's why, as I said earlier, during courtship, it's very, very important that you both get to talk. And women, don't go into marriage thinking that your husband will change. It will not change. It will not change. If your husband is someone that you cannot tell him that, baby, can you please help me pass that glass of water? And he will, and I mean, it will show like, what do you mean? Or say, can you help me branch the bank or use the ATM on your way to my house? And he's telling you that no, 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 no. I've been at work. I mean, you know how men could be so defensive. But if it's but rather go for someone that you know that you both can have discussions. You both now, because even small discussions, it starts from those small discussions. It starts from should we go to Ibadan or should we go to Lagos? Should we do this now? By the time that way you can know this is the kind of person you are marrying. By the time you now enter into the relationship where you are now having the big talks, are we buying a house? Are we buying a car? Now that way you can predict that this person will be open to having a conversation with you. And at that point, the thing about ego has already been discussed. But if during your courtship was going to cinema, that was always happening, going to KFC, there was no that room to discuss that. Okay, okay, let me really know you beyond the filters you use, the nice Instagram picture. Beyond that, that's why I said this discussion is very important, because at the end of the day, I know that if people got to speak with their spouse very well, a lot of people will probably not marry the person that they eventually marry, because you can't you can't hide some things. Yes, you can hide, maybe like my wife didn't know if I was snoring, or I don't now she has to cope with that. But there's some things that I couldn't hide. I can't. There's some things that would be obvious. You will know, okay, this person is he temperamental? Is he someone that I can speak to? So now, by the time you now enter into marriage, those real discussions that would affect most of your life, you can then have it without having in mind that this man, he will come with his ego again, because you both have sorted that out even before marriage. So the issue about splitting bills or no, or can this person help? Yeah, I mean, as a man, this woman that I'm marrying, when I'm down, when I'm in need, will she be able to come? Will she be able to come into it? Or okay, probably maybe when we are cutting, maybe we'll go somewhere, and maybe I can't find my ATM, or I mean, generally I can't find my ATM, or I lost money or something. I mean, generally, and she's able to kick in. That I know, okay, yeah, this person can support. Now, some women do it, and some men take advantage of it. It's a different thing. It's a different thing entirely. Thank you. Yeah, red flags. There will be red flags. that will always come up in your courtship. But some people, they'll be like, no, it will change. He's a brother now. Is a choir master, is a prayer warrior, all those things. If they are titles, by the time you enter marriage, you are marrying your husband. You are being naked to your husband. This is real life. The man has married you, so he doesn't need to pretend anymore. So, but those red flags, if you see that he's already tapping you in your cheeks, or already tapping you, know that this person, it is likely that you'll be tapping slap. If you go from tapping to slap eventually. So all these things, try to pick it up, and then be truthful to yourself that this person am I really marrying him because he has money, or is a fine boy, or I mean, okay, he travels a lot. He's doing his masters in the US. Because at the end of the day, life will go beyond that. Reality, you guys have to face it. So before marriage, as you are seeing the red flags, there's some red flags that are subtle that you might discuss. If it's that maybe this person, if you are religious and if this person doesn't go, if you call him on Sunday, you say, I'm at home, Jerry, I'm not going to church. You will know that, okay, this person probably is not someone that would probably want to go to church and marry. Now, if you can cope, fine. But if you can't cope, start discussing all these things in courtship so that by the time you enter marriage, the discussions about finance and other important things won't be a big deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before you go on, let me quickly say something.
Okay.
You just mentioned it right now. See, discussions when it comes to finance, when you're dating, is different from when you get married. Now, finances change. Finances change. You might have a guy you're dating and he's not so, he's not 100% at the peak of his business. And after marriage, he gets to that peak. Discussions change.
Very
so for
true.
me, I think finance is something that we should discuss frequently. Finance is something that we should be able to talk about. So, like some people say, a guy that can give you 500 out of 1,000. If he has 1M, he can give you 500 out of it. Most times it doesn't work like that. Most times it doesn't work like that. He can, at that point that he has a 10 million, he's already racking his head. He wants to get a Lexus. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He wants to go. Do you understand? So most times it doesn't work like that. So for me, I think finance, no matter the discussion you have when you're dating, it changes. There's reality. That's why I tell people that love is not enough to go into marriage.
You can say that
Definitely.
again.
Reality is waiting for you. Reality is waiting for you when you give birth to twins. When you want to put them in the school that you really want to put them, and you see the bill they are calling for you. When it is time for them to write work, the finance, it keeps changing. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Definitely.
The rates are how these children grow these days. Trust me, when I buy a set of clothes for my son this holiday, trust me, by the time he comes back in December,
Exactly.
I'm telling you, I will start thinking of, oh my God, what is this again? They grow tall, they grow big, even the food they eat. Last night or 2 nights ago, we were talking about it with a friend. And it started with a post on Facebook that said, all these newborn babies, they need counseling. How can a baby be eating 1 tin of milk in a week? And then one said, come and see my 13-year-old that will wake up in the middle of the night and eat Cocoa Pops.
Hey.
And it's like, do you understand? So when these things happen, you get, that is when you will know that no matter what discussion you have, finance is something that you should continue to discuss. So as your children are growing, as things are happening, you have to just keep talking about it. You have to keep talking about it. And I'm sorry to say, I'm not being 100% African, but the truth is, it still boils down mostly on women. You have to find a way to make it, make it subtle for your husband, for your partner. Find a way to discuss it with them. Because see, the way we women see finance is different from the way men see it. Trust me. Somebody told me one time ago and said, if a woman tells you, this is my last card, it's a lie. She has one hidden in her bra.
Yes.
She has one hidden in her bra. But if a man should tell you, this is my last card, trust me, my dear, that is his last card. Do you understand? Except few men. But women, we know how to, because of our children, we know how to hide that one. We'll hide it inside. Men are not so good at that. So when it comes to finance, I am one of the people that say that the woman has to be the one to help all the time, except in cases of Mr. Moyo, sorry, there is an accountant. And an auditor, that knows how to really put things in, Yeah, we have few men like that they are really good with, their the finance of their family. But it's not, sincerely speaking, if you put the census together, I don't think we have up to 50, we don't even have up to 40% of men that can actually do that. Trust me. So it's something that we have to keep talking about. The more we grow in our relationship, the more our children grow, the more we see need for investment. Finance is something that we must keep talking about in our relationship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, if you agree with me, we've been having an awesome moment. Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Madam Olubukola. Mr. Moyosore, thank you. Yes, we still have like 13 more minutes to end the show. So if you're still on the show and you want to call in, please call in. Let's hear your view. Olajumoke. Yeah. I accepted your call, so I think you need to call in again. I think the network is not doing so well at your end, so you can call in again. All right, so let me quickly run through my the studio and welcome some people and also read through some comments sections. So I'm trying to see where I stopped the last time though. Okay, yeah, I stopped at Modupe. All right, thank you. Oh, Nella, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Olubukola Remu, yes, she's always ready. Ori Ofesha, I've missed you. Come on, call in, let's talk. Ori Ofesha, you're welcome. Oladimeji Akibade, thank you, sir. You're welcome. Oluwaseun Pelumi, thank you so much, darling. Favor Chuku, thank you. Olajumoke, please call in. I received your call the other time, so I don't know what happened. If you want to call in again, please let's have your call. So from the comment section, Modupe says it's an ignore Mr. B, no wonder here. So Mr. Moyo, sorry, people are already noticing that though.
I didn't practice, so I only studied the computer skills. I didn't practice, but I'm practicing at home now with my girls.
So it's still boiling down to say. Oh, Joe, yeah, thank you for joining. Okay. Isaac Kelvin, thank you. Adewusi Adetolaje, thank you so much, sis. All right, yes. So Favor Chuku is saying to me, I think it's about understanding between both. Okay, yeah. Communication is a major point, Madam Olubukola. Okay, that's coming from Oladimeji. So Oladimeji is saying that's deep. Red flags can be reviewed through communication. Yeah, that's when you land in reality.com. Okay, sure. Okay, so well said, Mr. Muyo. That's from Favor. OJ28 said, right. Okay. Favor also is saying, yes, so dating and marriage, no be mates. Oladimeji, wisdom. OJ28 says, hard truth, very true from Favor. Olubukola Remu, you've just nailed it. That's coming from OJ28. Okay, Oladimeji Akingbade, very true, ma. As Nigeria is happening to us all, Abina. Okay, wallahi, I can testify. Okay, Oladimeji, please call in. What do you want to testify? Tell us something. What do we need to know? Tell us. Call in and let's hear you speak. All right, yeah. Yes, it's been an awesome moment tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Yes, yes, yes. So we have just like 10 more minutes to round up the show. So let me quickly run through some of the points that I got from today's show that I also want everyone to possibly have at the back of their mind. Now, discussion before going into discussion in finance generally is very important. And I think Mr. Moyo also said something about discussion before marriage. So we might need to discuss our finance before we even get married. How many children are we giving birth to? I think that also it's part of the discussions, right? So, well, how many children are we giving birth to? Where would they go? Which school are they going to? And like Madam Olubukola said, the discussion cannot just be once, and it will definitely need to be continuous, because the finance will change. Even when you give birth, things will change. Even economy around will change. So many things will change. But communication is key. Honesty and trust. Yes. So Muyosere mentioned that when you talk about trust, we are talking about being open to one another. So he mentioned something about if the partner knows this is what you're earning and this is what we have in this same purse, it will definitely guide what we want to do. So it might not be as if you need to be very strict with it, but at least it will be more like a guide to most of the things that we do. All right, so lastly, before we round off the show, I have a question. So when we talk about debt, how do we manage debt? So let's say, for instance, debt before marriage. So maybe one of the partners had a debt before going into marriage. So, and you are practicing one process. So how do we deal with the debt? So will the debt be part of the new deal, or he or she sorts out the debt individually? Or now that we run one pause, we can still go back and sort the debt. All right, so you have the floor,
Okay.
please.
Remember that as you both get to speak, that you did know that someone has debt. But now try to know the debt. What is the source of that debt? Is it that your spouse plays Bet Ninja and he has accumulated debt over time, or the debt is even for the marriage, the or the debt is for the marriage that you guys want to enter? He wants to show you that he has money and he doesn't have it. He has taken that debt. So you both need to know what's this debt for. But if it's a debt that is important to the both of you, like maybe, maybe before we go wedded, I need to maybe get a loan from work for me to for me to rent a house. Now that house is for both of us will stay in it together.
Okay.
So that it will be unfair if it's just one person that is paying. One person is paying that loan back. Now it all depends on how they structure their finances in marriage. If they would have an open post, then okay, every month something out of this our open post is going back to repay the debt. Or if it's that, sensibly, you both will know if this debt is what two of us going to marry into. Some debt might even show you the kind of person your spouse is. Is he financially literate? Is he someone that just spends? Is it someone that just spends lavishly? So that you will know if it is that you should not enter that marriage, you will know, because if you see the kind of debt that is happening, but if it's debt that it is reasonable, it's debt that you probably need to have, then you know that okay, inside marriage we can then structure, we pay back monthly, or is it that maybe if you both are maybe salary earners, okay, we pay, the husband pays it or the wife pays it, but at least there's an agreement that you both will have. That this is how you then repay the debt. But some debts, you know that this person, run, no, don't marry him. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
I don't know. I can't hear Ellie anymore.
Can you hear me?
Ellie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I think it's our network. I can hear you. I think it's the host's network.
Wow. Hello? Can you hear
Yes,
me now?
yeah, yeah. We lost you for a while.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. All right. Yeah, so thank
Hello,
you. Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now. We lost you for a while.
All right. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. I think it's a network thing. So how about now? Is it better now? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
It's better now, right?
Yes, it's better.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. Yes, it's been an awesome moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Yes, talking about finance in marriage, a lot has been said from our guest speaker to every other person that has called in and dropped their comments in the comment section. Madam Olubukola and every other person, OJ28 and everybody. Thank you so much for being part of this show. This is to appreciate every one of you. I so appreciate this. Talking about finance in marriage, there are a lot of things we need to put in place. And if you agree with me that finance is one of the major problems in marriage, either directly or indirectly. So even when we hear when there's so much um when there are so much issues in marriage, even when it ranges from domestic violence, infidelity, emotional blackmail, and all that, there are times that when we go deep down into some of these things, we'll see a trace of finance problem. We'll definitely see a trace of that in between. So if you agree with me, this is a very it's a very important topic that we need to talk about before and even in marriage. So just as how my guest speaker and my other guests that called in have said, excuse me please, these are things we need to put in place when we are talking in um, while we are courting before marriage. We should talk about finance. We should also notice some red flags and maybe some things that we need to observe and know that, okay, if this person is behaving like this, there's a tendency that it might grow worse, because most times marriage brings out our default. No matter how good, how beautiful you might seem while you're still single, by the time you get married, marriage will always bring out your default. So your partner gets to see what others don't see. Your partner gets to see the whole of you, your strengths and your weaknesses. So that is why we need to pay attention to most of these things. And when we talk about finance in marriage, please let us keep talking about it as it evolves. We can't afford to just leave it to chance. We should be mindful, we should be intentional about it. Communication is key. We should also know who the spender and who the saver is. So when we are talking about the personality, let's try to weigh both. So who is the spender, who is the saver, who can run the budget, who can do the audit like Mr. Moyosore is doing already. So anyone that needs that or that wants to know about finances, we need to be mindful of how we deal with each and every aspect of our marriage, from children upbringing to rent to business to even the groceries, the food, everything. Because either we like it or not, we can't afford to be wasteful. Somewhere, somehow, it might come up to um, it might be lacking somewhere. And also talking about giving out money, yes, I think Mr. Sorry also said that, because they actually have one purse, so there's a way they try to maneuver when it comes to giving people money or dashing money out. So I think finance is a very long topic actually, but nevertheless, this is to bring it to a wrap. Yes. At Ellen, great job. Yes, very crucial topic. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Madam Mujupe. I appreciate. For anyone with the needs an Excel sheet to track the okay, yes, so okay, it's open. Anybody that wants the Excel sheet, please, oh yeah, contact me. Let me give you Mr. Miosore's number. He said for anyone
No
who needs
worries.
an Excel sheet to track their expenses, I can share it. So in case you need it, please, you can drop your comment or just drop an icon, an emoji or something. is ready to share. So I think I'm interested to Mr. Moyo. Please let's start tracking those expenses. It's not funny any longer.
No problem at all.
Okay, OJ28. Are you interested? No problem. I'll send it to you. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Well done, Caesar telling. Thank you, Ori Official. You didn't talk today. I've missed you, Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the show. And yes, it is a wrap on today's show. Yes, Oluwashogo Helen Ayo Yenikon. That is my name. Your beautiful host with beautiful long names. Thank you for being part of today's show. We'll continue same time next week. Every Friday, 6 p.m. And when you're coming, please ensure you don't come alone. Invite everybody that you think will be part of this. And yes, thank you so much for your sorry, Omito. I really appreciate your inputs. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I appreciate. Olubukola, thank you so much, Mama. God bless you. Everyone that has been part of today's show, I love you all. Thank you so much. Let's do this again, same time next week. Mwah.